This country, you said, is full of talents, but it's also full of followers. What we need are leaders. And what we need to understand is we are the lawmakers. We don't have to look up at the parliament or at Delhi to make our laws. Our voice will become law. It has. Look at that Gujarati gentleman. I'm a great fan of his. That's because I'm thinking ahead of my times. I'm talking about Mr. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. That man is an important hero for me. Not because he's a Mahatma. I have already stripped him off the halo around his head, disrespectfully hoisted there by people with political intent. I am a man, and I look at him as my peer, and I imagine what I would do if I were in his shoes today. And that's what I'm doing within my chosen small spectrum called cinema. If you think I'm arrogating myself to be something as big as Mr. Gandhi, why not? Who knows, there are 20 Kamal Hasans and 10 Shivaji Ganeshan sitting here. And throw in a couple of Amitabh Bachchans and Amir Khans. We don't know. So why should you belittle yourself and look up at the dais? I like this arrangement of the dais. It's below you.
Can we live a different way?
Here, here. Right.
A different way in which there are no wars, no hatreds, in which man loves man, without competition, without division. We say you are a Christian, you are a Catholic, you are a Protestant, you are this. That's also immature. There's no meaning. It's an intellectual, sophisticated division. And that's not a religious mind at all. That's not religion. A religious mind is a mind that has no hatred, that lives completely without fear, without anxiety, in which there is not a particle of antagonism. Therefore, that a mind that loves, that's a different dimension of living altogether, and nobody wants that.
And in another sense, everybody wants it.
But they won't go after it.
They won't go after
And of course, and they're distracted by so many other things. They're so heavily conditioned by their past.
How do we march towards excellence? What can be done? How should we improve our standards? What needs to be done?
An expenditure is 3,73,000 crores of rupees.
Right from the day of our independence to the present date, I am sorry to tell that we have failed in our plan.
You think next 1 year we are focusing on these 6 letters. It has a sixth sense. You get it if you read the next level of thinking. Do you think it possible? Do you think anything? What do our youth think? Do our youth really think? The whole purpose of all these things is to provoke our thinking process. Are we really thinking? Are we becoming puppets and guided toys?
Is it possible in this confused world with so many contradictions and such misery and starvation, not only outwardly but also inwardly, such insufficiency psychologically, outwardly, there are so many rich societies. Is it at all possible for a human being living in this world to find within himself a clarity that is constant, that is true in the sense, not contradictory? Is it possible for a human being to find it? I don't see why not. I don't see why it shouldn't be found by anybody who is really quite serious. Most of us are not serious at all. We want to be entertained. We want to be told what to do. We want someone else to tell us how to live, what this clarity is, what is truth, what is God, what is righteous behavior, and so on. If one could really deeply negate all authority of that kind, then one would be relying totally on oneself. What is necessary is the freedom from authority, not the how. The how implies a method, a system, a way trodden by others, and someone to tell you do this and you will find it.
We need to trigger a thinking process. Entertainment cannot be a 24/7 activity for anyone. What will remain after all these entertainments? Do we live in a safe planet of eternal entity? Are we going to live here permanent? Or what are we going to leave behind? We are social animals. We are the lawmakers. We are a responsible lot of great people around. Why should we underestimate ourselves? Why can't we shoulder the responsibility to give a good living to the generations to come?
Whenever problem comes, it only beckons more skills and talents from within us, that how we handle them. So we are thankful for that. Just imagine a person's life without any challenges, any crisis. It will be so dull. Challenges or crisis, they bring up the talents from within you. It makes you aware of the abilities that you have to overcome them. In Chinese, there is only one word for crisis as well as opportunity. Because every crisis is an opportunity to exhibit your strength, your skills, and your abilities. Your strength, your ability. So crisis brings up that opportunity to exhibit your skills. When you are happy, you contribute to the world, you serve, not just remain in your own little enjoyment. Your happiness coupled with service makes the happiness rich. And your trouble and misery, when it has the strength of let go, of renounce, of dispassion, you learn a lot.
We need to think. Let them be utopian thinking. It is still better than no thinking. No thinking will bring nothing. Is nothing greater than everything? Let us think left, right, and center until we are at the center of solutions. Do we grow really? What is our growth rate? 7% GDP for India, 4% GDP for world. What about our minister's economic growth rate? Is it 400% or 700% or even more? Will you check the financial returns filed by our MPs to Election Commission? Why they do not think for society? Why should they think for the society? This is the fate of every society that fails to think collectively. Our thinking process is manipulated.
I am a bit of a utopian, and the other book talks to the idea that we must not just sit back and say that the world as it is everything is fine. You have to keep the fires of utopianism alive, and that does need imagination to think of a better world. You can't tolerate an India where this mass of poverty-living people who live in poverty by saying that, well, if the free market does this, you live with it. No, you have to think of a better.
Why the individual growth rate of our politicians goes up by 1,000 times every year? It is because they think and act for their growth. Then why the people in the constituency do not grow? Then why the people in their constituency do not grow? Not even at 1% of what they individually grow every year. It is because they never think about the growth of others.
And moment you have a system and a method, you become mechanical. You just do what you're told. And that's not clarity. It's like a child being told by its mother what it should do from morning till night. And therefore it becomes dependent on the mother or the father, whatever it be, and there is no clarity. So, to have clarity, the first essential thing is freedom. Freedom from authority. If you say right from the beginning, please, what is the method? There have been dozen methods, and they've all failed. They have not produced clarity or enlightenment or a state of peace in man. On the contrary, these methods have divided man. You have your method and somebody else has his method, and these methods are everlastingly quarreling with each other. What are the things that prevent clarity?
All right, fine.
Through negation, come to clarity, not through the positive method of following a system. You have the how of yours and the how of somebody else and the method of this and they're all lost.
Fine.
So
Right.
if we could put aside that question, the how, for the time being, what are the obstructions, the hindrances, the blocks that prevent clear perception of human anxiety, fear, sorrow, and the ache of loneliness, the utter lack of love and all that? The question is not freedom from a particular authority, but the whole conceptual acceptance of authority. The freedom from authority implies the freedom from fear.
All right.
And the freedom from fear implies the cessation of every form of violence. So the moment you bring in how you move away from the central fact of learning. What does it mean to learn? When I want to learn about something, I look. There is no condemnation at all. Here is a fact of fear. I want to learn about it. Moment I learn about something, I'm free of it. So learning matters.
Yeah.
What is what is implied in learning? What is implied in learning? First of all, to learn about something, there must be complete cessation of condemnation or justification. I want to learn. So I want to learn about this question of fear.
Okay.
So to learn, there must be no condemnation, no justification of fear. But the tendency is to deny it.